Azerbaijan actually means the place or the country of the fire, Azerbaijan. And it is way up there on the Caspian Sea shore. You can see it more in slide number 62. And then I just wanted to show the little bit of the Baku on the lower left hand corner, which is a very famous place with quite a number of oil wells and so on. So in the old days, natural fires coming out of these shores of Caspian Sea was unbelievably sacred to the people. They could not believe that the fire starts without any fuel. And so they were taken as a very sacred place. And Baku itself, the name comes from Bagan, means God. So that's how it all started. There is a fire temple, there is a temple up there which people thought it was Atashkade of the Parsis, but actually it turned out to be of the Hindus. And then he makes a reference to our scriptures, saying that in our ancient, I'm on slide 65, literally works, there are references of the worship of fire emitting directly from earth. One fire has been described which burns without any fuel. This is the same fire of natural gas wells which burns night and day without any fuel. And then he mentions that in our all 5 gates we pray Twam Atarem Aurem Asdao Putrem Yazamaide Apam Naptarem Yazamaide Apam Naptarem Yazamaide. We venerate Apam Naptar Atash. And according to Dr. Modi, the word Naptar is the root of the current word naphtha. And this naphtha flows like a liquid, and so its atash is called ap, means it is a liquid fire in our prayers. Okay, so then there was a mention by a very famous, I'm on number 66, very famous 12th century poet Nizami Ganjavi. And in his Eskandar Name, the book, he mentions, in that place was a fire built round with stone, which the fire worshipper used to call Khudi Soz. Khudi is like Khuda itself. Soz means burning. The fire was burning itself. For it, and this is important, for it were 100 priests, Abadan, of the fire temple with collar of gold. Must be very rich priest. But there were 100 of them in that fire temple. Again, Khudi says means burning itself. To accommodate 100 priests, just the priests, not about the other people, it must be a very huge fire temple. So here is the fire temple in Atashkare in Baku. Look at the construction of this. It is in 7 stories, 7 ameshaspan, 7 stories. And when this was not a common Atashkare, this was built, and the naphtha, the gases were used for the fire fuel, and the 7 stories really showed the connection to our 7 ameshaspans. And to build something like this, you really have to consider the thickness, and the thickness was unbelievably big. And then he also mentions that in Sasanian times, I am on number 70, in Sasanian times, Ardashir Khware, in the province of Pars, Firuzabad, Ardashir built a tall story fire temple which was 30 meters, 90 feet high, but it has a spiral design as is shown in slide number 71. Can you imagine an Atash Beram in this kind of format? So, and the fire temple we talked before, the artist's presentation, how it looked when the fire was burning in it. What a wonderful sight. So we talked about this, but then in order to corroborate the fire temple, in 1964, I'm on slide 73, 1964, this is called a maiden tower. In this maiden tower, at the depth of 4 meters, the 2 archaeologists discovered this. They discovered an altar on the upper left hand corner as you see it, artist's representation of the altar, and then I compared it with the altar fire on the coin of Ardashir Babakan, as you see on the left hand side, quite a bit of similarity. Unfortunately, this particular thing, after it was excavated, right away it was destroyed. So now we are on the last part of the Afarganyu. How did our Afarganyu came back? I will be done in few minutes. When Dr. Modi visited Sharifabad, he found that the real fire was kept inside, and only a designated morbid and a day morbid will go and tend the fire. A common person is not allowed to see the fire. Now, he also saw that when the common people, devotees came, they started their own fire on a flat rock or a flat slab. They used to call it adosht. Adosht. So this was the first time he saw something like this, and this brought back some memories of the ancient custom of praying in front of an open Atash altar. As you see in Achaemenian and Sasanian inscription, this is the one from Naqsh Rustam, where Darius the one is praying in front of the altar, and Atash with the left hand side he has a bow which is the sign of royalty, and he's praying in front of a shofarohar. If you go in Atash Behram in Iranshahr, you will see this photograph also, almost a copy of the one that we saw before, with the bow in the left hand side praying in front of the Atash on an altar. And then if you look at all the Sasanian kings' coins, from Ardashir Papakan on upper left hand corner, 224 to 241 CE, Shapur II on the right upper corner, Noshirwane Adil almost 200 years later on the lower left, and our final Shahenshah Yazdegat Shayar on the lower right, you see an evolution of almost like an Afarganyu. And then I was lucky enough to see this article given to me by my Jewish friend from the Archaeology magazine of September, October, where the French people, archaeology people, has discovered a huge place called